Hi, it's Layle with Simple Stories. I'm here at Scrapbook.com and we're working on our December Days album. So in addition to adding more photos to your album, we also like to figure out how can we add more pages. And my favorite way to add more pages to your album is actually using our 6x8 pad. So with the 6x8 pad, I have lots of different options because I have 24 sheets in the pad. There are 12 sheets each of 2 different designs, and those are also double-sided, so I have lots of different designs to work with. And because they are 6x8 papers, that means they're basically fitting the album exactly. I don't even need to do any trimming if I don't need to. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I have used them in my December Days album. So the first one we're going to start with is just really basic. Not everything we do has to get super complicated and fancy. So in this particular example, I have just adhered a number right to the page and put my little chipboard there. So I've just added my number, added a fun little chipboard tree, and then I use one of the pocket pages as a template. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to line that up about even. And I'm using those little holes that are already there in the pocket page. This hole punch by We Are is one of my favorite things to use when I'm working with our snap albums because the size of that hole is the exact size of the hole in our pocket pages. So, and then I would just take that and it would go right in my album like that. So that's a super simple way of incorporating one of the 6x8 papers in your album. All right, now we're going to take it up a notch. And in this example, we're actually going to make kind of a little trifold. So it's going to start like this, and it opens once, and then it actually even opens again. So it's really actually very easy to make. I'm going to move this guy out of the way and bring in a trimmer to start. So this is already 6x8. What I want to do is I'm going to trim 1/2 inch off of the left edge. So let's see. There's my 6. So we're going to go to 5.5. And I've trimmed there. What I want to do now is bring in my score pal. And I need to score the opposite edge. So basically I trimmed 1/2 inch off the left, and now I want to score 1/2 inch along the right side. So I'm going to score that at 5. Then I'm going to apply adhesive to the back side of that scored edge. So let's fold that just so we can really see where that is. And then I'm going to use my little sticky tape here. Just run a strip of that right along that little scored edge. Peel off my backing. And then I'm going to adhere it to the right edge of another 6x8 paper. Now, you have so many different patterns to choose from in that 6x8 pad. So really, you're just looking for something that will complement it. So that polka dot complements that buffalo plaid floral there. And I open it up. Now, I have my one fold, but I want to add another fold. So I'm going to open that up. So for my third piece, I'm going to cut 1.5 inches off. So I want this to be 4.5. And I need to make it a little bit less wide than my other one so that it still reveals a little bit of the paper that's underneath it. So we'll bring back in the score pal. And I'm basically going to do the exact same thing I did before. On the opposite edge or the right edge, I need to score at 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm scoring this one at 4. I will add my little tape here again to that back side of the scored edge. Pull off the backing. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just attaching that, adhering it to that far edge. So I've now made a trifold. Now what I can do as I close that up, I can open it and I can add quite a few photos, whether I'm adding 4x6 or multiple 3x4s. I have room for photos there as well, or journaling. And then I would just add my 13, if this was going to be on the 13th, to the front there, punch the holes, and now I have an additional page that will hold lots of additional photos for me in my December Days album. Okay, the third little one I want to show you, this is one of my favorites. we'll take a look at the finished sample here first. So this is, instead of opening a couple times, this one flips up. And again, another super easy one to make. We're going to start with that fun little piece from the 6x8 pad that has a little kind of ornament lights on it. And we need to take another piece. I'm taking this stripe. Now, one thing that's really important when you are doing this, if you have something that's going to flip up, you want to make sure that if there is a pattern on the other side that has a direction to it, what I mean is depending on how I adhere this, if I adhere it upside down, when I open it up, my snowman is going to be upside down. So I just want to be conscious of that as I am cutting. So you can see here when I open, my snowman is right side up. So I'm going to trim a 1/2 inch off of either side of my snowman. So there's 1/2. And I will bring this back and trim my second 1/2. 1/2 inch on either side so that it's going to basically sit right there. And I can still see a little bit of the background behind it. We'll bring in the trusty score pal again. And this is where we want to make sure that we don't do it upside down. If I'm going to turn this over and eventually it's going to flip up, right, that is the right way. So I always like to kind of make sure I'm going to do it the right way before I actually do something. So I want to score that bottom basically of the snowman. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch again. And then I will apply my adhesive. That little scored edge. Tape like this is really awesome to use because it makes sure it's super sturdy and it makes sure that you get a really good solid adhesive, especially with something like that that's interactive that you may be opening and closing quite a bit. All right, now there are a couple of different ways that you could adhere this. I always like to adhere it with the score on the back side. I'm going to turn that over and fold. All right, so there's the start of my page. Now I am going to add, I would add just a cute little 4x6, or excuse me, 4x4 card like that. We'll just add a quick piece of adhesive there. All right. And then I could add a little die cut to the top of that if I wanted, but I like to finish off the bottom. And so I'm going to use one of the stickers from the Merry and Bright 12x12 sticker combo sheet. So I will take this little guy right here, that buffalo plaid scallop sticker, and I'm going to just barely hang it off of the bottom. So you see a little bit of that scallop. And then I'm going to trim right there. And because it's a sticker, it's sticky on the back, right? And I don't want it to be sticky on the back side of that. So I'm actually going to add that same little scallop border there to the top. And I will trim. And there is another fun page to add to my album. Obviously, I would punch my holes, and in my my little book it would go. Now, because this was for the 19th, I'd open it up and it could go right up there by Frosty's hat. And then I would, as the 19th came around, I would document and add my photos accordingly. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!